Okay. Well, welcome everyone. I'm Nikki Brown, and I'm here today with Fran Fisher. So, Fran is a master certified coach. She's a visionary leader, international speaker, and published author. She specializes in mentoring experienced coaches for their MCC credential. And she also offers advanced certified mentor coach training, which I am proud to have been a part of. Fran's recognized internationally as one of the pioneers in the coaching field. She founded one of the very first coaching schools accredited by the International Coach Federation, as it used to be called. She also served as a founding ICF executive board member as chair of the Credentialing Development Committee. So much of what we know today about our credentials stemmed from Fran and her involvement. She's also been serving as an ICF credentialing assessor since 1998. Wow. And back in 2022, Fran received the honor of the highly esteemed ICF Circle of Distinction Award. And well earned, I would say.
Thank you.
And from my own experience with Fran, I can tell you that Fran just has this beautiful soul and heart.
Oh,
Her vision is really like this world where everyone is enjoying a rich and fulfilling life and living true to their essence and their
yes.
life purpose and values. And she believes this is what the world needs from us to be true to ourselves. And she also believes that coaching is the contribution we can make for this transformation in our world.
Amen. I do believe.
And Fran also, and correct me if I'm wrong, you also have two children,
I
right?
have children. Yes,
And,
two very grown up children,
and seven grandchildren
7 grandchildren.
and 14 great grandchildren. Oh my
Great
goodness.
children. Now visualize this, okay? It's like I'm running a pyramid scheme here.
Actually, I did kind of think that. I was like, wow, how does that all equal? Or but what's even really fascinating to me is you have an asteroid named after you, right?
I do, way out there in outer space somewhere.
That's
My former husband was an astronomer. And he specialized in discovering asteroids, and he had the privilege, since he was the discoverer, to name them. So he discovered 33 asteroids, and he named one after me.
oh my goodness.
That's
I just
crazy.
love
That's
it.
crazy.
When you shared that with me, I was just like, wow, I didn't know that. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, Fran, it really is such a privilege to be talking with you today. And there's so many different directions we could go with this conversation because you are a plethora of knowledge.
True.
Um, but for this interview, I'd really like to focus in on mentor coaching
Okay.
because even though the ICF, requires mentor coaching and a lot of people know about it, I think there's a lot of confusion about mentor coaching. So
Okay.
would that be okay to really focus in on this
Sure.
topic today?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Well, let's start with you. So, Fran, I know you really do have a heart for mentor coaching. Why is that?
What is my heart for mentor coaching? Well, to begin with, um, I really can't answer that question without starting at the beginning. I was so inspired about coaching when I discovered it in 1991. And so I helped to launch the International Coaching Federation, as you know, and I founded one of the first 3 schools there were only 3 of us in the beginning that were credentialed by ICF in 1998. And so I ran my school, which I loved. I have this teacher gene. I look back in my life and I see, even when I was in grade school, for example, we lived in Fairbanks for a year, and in that winter time, we had to stay home in that weather, way below zero for the weekend. And so I would bring home all my school books, and my sister was 3 years younger, and we would play school all weekend, and I would teach her, and she was my little cherub student. So I look back on my life and I see how that teacher gene, I call it, of mine is so prevalent in things that I have done throughout my life that have brought me to coaching. And so I taught in the classroom, and then I trained my faculty, and then I mentored my faculty, and then I mentored my graduates. And so over the years, I evolved into the sweet spot of mentoring being my passion and my sweet spot, I call it. And what one of the things that I love about it is that my why, my my why, my life why is contribution. Um, I've always described it as making a difference. It just feeds me to be making a positive difference. And so as I come to mentoring, long story to get there, but as I come to mentoring, I realize that I'm leveraging myself. I'm I'm mentoring coaches I'm making a difference mentoring coaches who are making a difference coaching people in the world. So I just feel like I've leveraged my presence, my gifts, my passion for helping the world be a better place.
That's beautiful. And yeah, because you can't be there beside every single coach, but you can. The way I kind of envision it is like throwing pebbles in a river or in a lake, where you throw the pebble and then it makes those little waves that go out and out and out. And that's kind of what I'm envisioning as you're talking about this leveraging yourself
Yes,
so you can
the
make even greater contribution.
ripple effect. Yes, I love that visual. Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so let's talk about this. You mentioned being a teacher naturally and this sweet spot of mentor coaching. Could you let us know, like, what is mentor coaching and how does it differ from just coaching and from things like coach supervision?
Okay, well, let's start with coaching. 1998, I coined a definition for coaching, and I'd love to share that as a place to start answering your question. So, coaching is the sacred space of unconditional love, where learning, growth, and transformation naturally occur. Coaching is a sacred space of unconditional love, where learning, growth, and transformation naturally occur. So, this is at the MCC level, which is my specialty. I like to say that um, as a coach, we are the space, we are the sacred space. There's less doing coaching and more being that space of unconditional love for our clients' learning, growth, and for their transformation. Mentoring is supporting a coach in uh, gaining greater mastery with their coaching. It's skill development. Mentoring is about skill development. So I honor the ICF definition of mentoring, and that my job when I'm working with a coach is to help them continue to develop their competency skills. And so at the ACC and PCC and MCC levels, we have mentors helping our coaches on the path to gain greater mastery so that they're passing their exams and earning their credential for that level, ACC, PCC, or MCC. That's our job as a mentor. Now, supervision it's a different aspect, and it serves us. I didn't understand it years ago when it first came out, and I had a colleague who was certified in delivering training and marketing the training for supervision, and I just didn't understand it, Nikki. I tried to read their marketing information, and I said, I said to him, okay, I'd like to hire you for 3 supervisions. I want to experience this because I don't understand what I'm reading. The words don't speak to me. So I did. I had 3 supervision sessions with him, and I got it. I brought 3 different issues and challenges I was having in my coaching, not with my skills so much, but in my relationship with my clients. And we worked through those challenges and discovered who I was being and what my limiting beliefs were and what got in the way of me being effective and efficient in my coaching and in my relationship with those clients. So supervision focuses on the dynamics of the coaching relationship. Does that help?
Yeah, that's a really good distinction. Like you, I, for a long time, I was like, I don't get it. What is the difference? Why? Because I feel like sometimes those things overlap, mentor coaching and supervision. There's some aspects of that that overlap, and yet there is real value also in a dedicated space for, like you said, looking at the relationship and the dynamics of our interaction with our clients. So that's a really good separation of
Thank
those
you.
things. Yeah,
And they
thank
do
you.
overlap. They do, just like coaching overlaps with therapy.
Mhm. Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, and mentor coaching and coaching overlap because we are still coaching,
yes,
or we're it's almost like we're teaching and educating, but in a very coach-like manner,
yes,
as we work with our mentees. So
exactly. Yeah, yes,
everything's all connected.
it's all connected.
Well, thank you for that. Okay, so we all know that, or most of us, I think, know that the ICF has certain requirements for mentor coaching.
Yes.
Um, but over and above that, Fran, why do you think it's important for coaches to work more frequently or more regularly or more consistently with a mentor coach throughout their life as a coach?
Yes. Well, the same as the importance of working with a coach. When I had my classroom and I was training beginning coaches, I was a broken record about what I'm about to say, which is that if you're marketing yourself as a coach, imagine you're sitting with a prospective client, and the prospective client hears your pitch and the values of coaching, and then they ask you, well, do you work with a coach? Imagine if you said, oh, no, I don't need to do that. You just lost all credibility. right? We got to walk the talk, and talk the talk and walk the talk. So starting on this path to respond to your question, Nikki, it's the same thing to me that, and I'm always working with my own coach. I'm doing my personal work, and beyond, I have my mentor helping me focus on my skill development. My personal coach is helping me grow my, what's the word? What's the word we're looking for? My potential as a human being, who I want to be, being. And uh, anyway, so there's that. There's the benefit and the value of working with your own coach as a coach. Now, working with a mentor, this came about because us assessors were noticing when we were assessing candidates for their credential that so many of them were not passing their exams. And we said to each other, and we spoke with ICF and said, look, they're not prepared. They don't know what they don't know. This is our perspective, our take on what's happening here. So we recommend that a certain amount of mentoring is required for schools and for individuals to better prepare them for submitting for their exams. So that happened. And ICF established a requirement of a minimum of 10 hours before they apply for their ACC or their PCC or their MCC. So we were happy with that, and I think it was a very good thing. But what we discovered, those of us who mentor and those of us who are assessors, it still isn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough. I'm going to be very transparent here right now and tell you, as an assessor, I only get to pass, sadly, maybe 4 out of 5 recordings that I assess. It's very sad, and it's disappointing and discouraging, and it's
And
so.
Fran, do you mean as an official assessor for the ICF? Is that
As
what
an
you're talking?
assessor,
Yeah. Okay.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I assess applicants' recordings for ICF for their MCC. I used to assess for ACC and also PCC, but over the years, I have evolved into my specialty where I only assess the MCC level. But anyway, so between PCC and MCC, we are, as coaches, required to have 2,500 hours of experience before we can apply. 500 hours to apply for PCC. So here's 2,000 hours to accumulate over time. And here's what happens from experience. This is what we've discovered. In those 2,000 hours, if coaches are not getting mentoring, they're not getting support on their skill development, they're settling into blind spots. They're settling into comfort zones, habits. And when they when they arrive to me and hire me as their MCC mentor, they're, what? Big shock. 2,000 hours doesn't build their skill development toward that next level.
I'm
So
so
go
glad
ahead.
you're addressing that here. I agree so much. Like, that is a huge gap in
Yes.
time and number of hours that if you're just out there doing your own thing as a coach, oh my gosh, it's so easy to slip into these habits and comfort zones and things that you're talking about. And if we don't have somebody else with a little bit of an eye on the ball there, it can be really easy to kind of slip into those things and we don't even realize it.
No, we don't realize it. And it's so human, I mean, I
Yes.
relate myself. I slip out of my exercise. I slip out of my right eating. It's so easy.
When no one's watching.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
slipping into those comfort zones and yeah, anyway, so you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, so my motto is start sooner, folks. I'm talking to those of you who are watching and listening to this. Start sooner. When you got your ACC, you've done the work to get there, and congratulations, you've learned and grown, and you've passed your exams, and you have your ACC uh, credential. Don't just wait until you have 500 hours and then apply for your PCC. Find out what PCC is and what's required and what that growth is required, and start practicing those new habits. Start early, don't wait. And the same between PCC and NCC.
Yeah.
Start
Oh,
early.
yes. Beat that drum, Fran. It is so important. So important. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you from experience, coaches who have hired me for mentoring, many of them, it's a big shock. What?
Yeah.
What is this? Yeah.
Yeah, and
So,
my experience has been, and of course, I'm not an MCC yet. I'm on that journey, but I'm not there yet. So I work with ACCs and PCCs, and yeah, my experience is that people come to me and they don't realize, they think, oh well, I've got this number of hours now, so I must be good, right? And they just don't realize what the requirements are. And I mean, let's face it, when we read those minimum skills requirements in their words on paper
yep.
or on the screen, and we read them, there's still not a good understanding and good connection. Like, that's why you need someone right with you on that journey to help point out what those things look like.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely. And what comes to mind, Nikki, is an example of at the PCC level, establishing a coaching agreement. There's something about establishing 3.2, establishing a measure for success. And even at the PCC level, I experience coaches who resist. I don't want to have to do that. I don't understand why I have to do that. And and the same goes for when they get to MCC, and we're expecting even more depth of demonstration of that that marker, that PCC marker. When they come to MCC, we're expecting more depth of demonstration of that. So over time, I have developed my secret sauce when it comes to. I'm just using this example when a coach resists, doesn't understand, and so they avoid it. I explain the why, not just because you should develop this skill. You know, we're here, we're here in the head. I should develop this skill. I help them understand in their heart and soul and in their body, why is this important? Why does this contribute to your client? It's not about you, it's about them. It's about why this is so powerful and important and empowering for your client. And when they get that understanding, it empowers them to move forward in developing that marker or that anchor, that skill.
Oh, I know that's true for me. Like as I've learned and grown, it's like, oh, the light bulb really comes on when you see how it connects to not just, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do as a coach, but this is why, this is how it helps the client. Such
Yes,
a big deal. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
That's what you get from a mentor.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so Fran, and I don't know, just maybe a few top ones, but like what are some common challenges that you feel coaches show up with um and they don't really see it until they start working with a mentor, those blind spots that you mentioned. What are the maybe the top two or three that you notice that coaches are clueless about until they start working with a mentor coach?
Okay. Well, the first one that comes to mind is actually grounded in a belief that uh, that I need to let the client know that they're heard. And so I do it by repeating their words. I do it by, uh, what am I trying to say? Making remarks like that. Okay, yeah. Well, those are a couple of examples. And so those are ingrained as habits that are responding to an unconscious belief that I have to let that client know. Well, yes, what we're learning in the evolution of the consciousness of what it takes to be highly efficient and effective as a coach, what we're learning is that when you respond to what that client just offered, what they just said, what they just expressed, when you respond to that with curiosity and you ask them a deepening question of, uh, how does that insight impact you? You're being curious and you're deepening their learning about themselves. They get that they've been heard. It doesn't have to be proven by the examples I gave.
Mm, so true. Yeah, and it is very habitual to say that use those non-lexical fillers like the yeah, uh-huh. So, my mentor coach, who I've worked with for many, many years, Marion Franklin, she used to tell me to put tape over my mouth.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it does become such a habit, and it may be a habit in life as well, not just in a coaching
Oh yeah,
conversation.
of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
when we get to the MCC level, we're more conscious about a quality we call flow. And flow it's all about energy. And let's say, for example, that you and I'm the coach and you're the client, Nikki, and you say something and I respond by saying, "Oh, so it sounds like what you mean is XYZ ABC." Two things interfere with energy flow. Two things in what I just did. One is I took the energy away from you and I decided what I spoke, what I was hearing. I took the energy away from you and brought it over to my side of the net. Right. So there's interference with a flow of energy. The other thing that happens with that kind of response is I am interpreting what I believe you said. So, folks, when you get to MCC, this is a biggie. You know, it's so easy to say, oh, well, what I'm hearing you say is, or it sounds like, you know, you go right into interpreting rather than, Nikki, what did you just hear yourself say? Keep it over there with you and evoke you to look deeper within yourself.
Mm. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. And I love the imagery of the keeping it on their side of the net versus it's almost like you're playing ball, but you're going and you're ripping the ball out of the client's hands.
Yes, I see it as the ball does come over the net because the client has offered something, but the coach grabs it in midair and does something with it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Instead of sending it right back across. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. So any other things that are typical that clients show up with, that coaches show up with? I mean, that
Well,
are
yes,
blind spots? That
yes, they're attached to telling, doing, they're attached to telling versus asking. And I gave a little example of that. They're attached to their own agenda. They have their own intuition or their own idea about what the client should do. And they ask leading questions on their own agenda rather than asking a curious question of the client, like, well, where do you want to go from here? Or what do you want to do with that idea? How do you want to take that forward? Um, so a lot of I was just assessing a recording yesterday, and this coach, out of all the questions she asked, 90% of them were leading the client to, very subtly, but leading the client to, okay, here's how I like to describe it to my mentee. You just decided the direction of the coaching. You decided the direction of the coaching by asking that leading question instead of inviting the client, offering the client choice of what direction you want to go. So let's see if I can come up with an example. Um, I could ask the client, out of all those ideas you just shared with me, which one do you want to focus on next, or which one is most important to you to um, um, here's a subtle one that was in this assessment I just did. This is a subtle one. She said, well, where do you get that? Where is that in your body? Now, we used to do a lot of that at the PCC level, processing client with these wonderful tools that we've learned. But the client wasn't in her body. She wasn't talking about her body. So it didn't even fit. It was the coach's idea to direct her to looking at her in her body for a reason. So I might ask instead at the MCC level, I might ask, what resource would serve you right now for supporting your next move? Or what resources do you have to draw on that might help you here? Really open-ended. You're giving the client a huge field of options for them to look. Same
yeah.
thing. Oh, here's another one, Nikki. Here's another one. At the end of a coaching session, the coach asks, how can I support you?
Mm.
Uh-uh. You've just narrowed the playing field to you. Now the client is they're going to look to you to look within themselves. That's the only space they've got given, and they'll go there instead of uh, what support do you need or want? who will support you, who could support you, or how do you want to be supported? Broad, open-ended, that give the client plenty of space to look within themselves for their own wisdom.
Yeah, and what's coming up for me is, because I think most coaches, especially probably newer coaches, tend oh my gosh, I just want to help my clients. I just want to be a good coach, you know. So these
Yes,
questions slip out and the coach is thinking, "Oh, I'm just being supportive to my client."
yes,
And that even goes back to some of the leading questions that are asked or things like that. But what we're actually doing when we make it about ourselves, we're disempowering the client. We're not allowing the client to do their own work and to figure these things out. Because, and like going back to the last example, how can I support you? Um, if the client is constantly depending on that coach, then they're not building a good
oh,
network and things for
great,
themselves outside of that coaching
oh,
relationship.
great point, bingo, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
Nick, right on.
Yeah. Okay. So I know we're getting close to time. So, Fran, if a coach, hopefully, coaches that have been listening to you are like, oh, where do I find a mentor coach? What do I do? So when someone is looking for a mentor coach, how do they find one that really suits them? What are some important things that they need to keep in mind as they're looking at mentor coaches? And what's the best way for them to find one that really, connects with them?
Yes, there are a number of resources. First of all, ICF has a mentor registry. So going there and then you can sort for location, specialty type, I think even their price range, I believe. It's been a long time since I've looked at
Me too. I don't even know.
my own profile there. It's
Yeah.
been there for so many years. Not much has changed. Anyway, so ICF is a resource. I would imagine. I haven't looked for myself, but Google is such an incredible resource. You could enter in, coach, mentor, PCC, ACC, MCC. Uh, uh, I have a directory on my website, and I'm building a community of highly trained masterful mentors. And so we have a directory on my website. My website is Fran at franfishercoach.com. And you can go to the directory for mentoring, and you can search for someone who specializes in your level of credential you're going for. And you can go to their websites and learn more about them and start noticing the, I don't like the word chemistry, but I'm going to go ahead and use it, that connection, that uh, how they present themselves, what's your level of attraction, to and sense of safety with that person. You can interview, and I always recommend at least three different. You get a feel for their style, your sense of safety and credibility,
Yeah.
experience.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, because and I will say, and Fran, actually what you gave a moment ago was Fran at Fran Fisher Coach. So that's your email, Fran at franfishercoach.com.
Dot com.
Yeah,
Dot,
yeah.
dot
And
com.
so the Fran Fisher, Fisher, was FranFisher coach, COACH.com is your website. And then on there, they can see, there's a link, I'm assuming, to the the registry of your mentor coaches, right? The people you have
Yes.
personally trained.
Oh, I've personally trained.
And I'm on there, yay. Um,
Yay, yes, you are.
but I would just say yes, and I agree that you can find a lot of things through Google, but I really want to say find someone you trust. Like Fran is building her registry of her specially trained mentor coaches. Um, find someone that you trust that has someone to refer you to, because if you just go Google mentor coaches, you never know really what you're going to find. And it's not that it's not that they're bad or anything, but there are certain requirements mentor coaches need to meet. Like they have to be at the level you are or higher. They have to hold a credential. So I actually had, and the reason I'm saying this is I had a coach come to me fairly recently, and she said, "Oh, well, I had worked with this mentor coach. I assumed I could use all those hours. And then I found out he wasn't even credentialed by the
Oh,
ICF."
oh,
So, and it's not that that was bad mentoring or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're going to use this mentor coaching for an ICF credential application or renewal, for sure, you need to make sure that, that coach can actually count toward that.
good.
But go to Fran's website for sure and check out the mentor coaching registry.
Well, also there is the link to my mentor training course.
And I was going to ask you about that. So, Fran, let's flip it just a tiny bit here.
Okay.
So, coaches looking for mentor coaches, that's great. But what if the coach is saying, "Oh, that's my sweet spot too. I want to help coaches develop their skills and I want to, go that more teacher route." What would you tell them? What do they need to do first? And yeah, tell them what might be helpful.
Um, help me out with this question.
Well, I mean, I know you offer your group. Is your group your mentor coach training for everyone, Fran? Or would
Oh,
that
okay. Thank you.
yeah.
That helps. So, my mentor training is specifically for PCC, for coaches who already are PCC so that they can mentor PCC. And I also train mentoring for MCC so they can begin to move in that direction as well. And also MCCs. I just realized there's a point that I wanted. Okay, hold on. I had it and then I lost it. Oh, I was going to say this much earlier. So if you want to find a mentor, if you're an ACC and you want to renew your ACC, find a mentor who will mentor you to the PCC level. Stretch yourself. If you're a PCC, find a mentor who will mentor you to the MCC level. So you're stretching yourself instead of just renewing your PCC. Okay,
That's a
so
good point.
having
Yeah.
said that, now uh, my specialty is mentoring top level, so coaches who are uh, uh, qualified to mentor for PCC, and they want to move toward mentoring MCC. Now, I have a colleague who has a mentor program that specializes in mentoring for ACC and PCC. So if you called me, I would refer you to her. Because I have had clients who have gone to her program and have good things to say about it.
Well, and um I will say to anyone out there who's maybe kind of in my shoes or where I was a couple of years ago, feeling like, "Oh, I'm just a PCC. I don't really, I'm not anywhere near MCC, and I don't know. I may not really fit in Fran's program. And I just want to encourage you, do it, stretch yourself because I didn't think, and I think I told you this in our very first conversation, Fran, that, I don't know. I mean, I'm just PCC and I just mentor PCCs and ACCs. And oh my gosh, I learned so much from your program that I don't think I would have learned in a program aimed at ACC or just ACC PCC mentors. And I'm certainly not knocking that because that may be where someone is, and that's totally fine. But I just wanted to say that don't shortchange yourself. If Fran's program maybe seems a little too far, just try it. Do it anyway, because you really do learn so much when you stretch those muscles.
And then take your own advice.
What was that?
I'm talking to you, Nikki.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I am. I'm working on my MCC now. I'm like really
Yay.
working toward that and
Hey.
just now getting to the point where I believe it might be possible.
All right.
So, yeah.
Looking forward
Yeah.
to celebrating you.
Well, Fran, is there anything else, like any other places you would like people to connect with you, or just any other final thoughts that you have here today?
Oh, oh my. Mm, feel like we've said it all.
We've covered a lot.
Yeah.
You've
Yes, I
you've had
really.
some real gems here.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I just encourage everyone watching or listening to go to wait, is that right? franfishercoach.com.
FranFisherCoach.com is yeah, I
Yes.
gave you the
Yeah,
email.
go to that website, check her out. You have an email list, I think. I think there might even be some videos. I don't remember. It's actually been a little bit. I should have
Oh,
visited this, but
let me build on that. Yes, my website, I really appreciate my generosity in terms of all the resources that I have there that are available. There are lots of free videos, um, coaching sessions, mentoring sessions. There are some products there that you can take a look at and support my. I have a product called Wisdom Way Coaching Mastery, and it has audios that you can listen to on each and every competency and how to demonstrate those markers at the PCC level. And it also has a library of recordings that have passed ICF at the MCC level. So you can listen to coaches coaching at the MCC level and really learn in the listening. So I'm very proud of that product. You can download everything or you can stream uh, from my website.
yeah. And that is a biggie because so many coaches are always asking, where can I hear examples? Where can I listen to good coaching? So that Wisdom Way set is really good.
Thank you.
And I want to encourage people to check out Fran's Mentor Coach Registry. These are all people she has personally trained, and I'm not just saying that because I'm listed there. Like there are so many of us listed there, and check everybody out. Um,
You.
yeah, interview people, just talk to people and find out who's who. There's some really, really wonderful people in that registry. Okay. All right. Well, Fran, oh my gosh, thank you so much for your time and for who you are, your dedication to the coaches under your care. And just really appreciate you so much. And thank you for your time here today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My dear Dear special friend, Nikki, thank you. Thanks for your championing and your support.
Thank you, Fran. All right, we'll wrap it up here and go check Fran out.